Good afternoon, Patriots. This is Praying Medic, and this is my QAnon broadcast for September 12th, 2020. Welcome to the broadcast. My theme for this broadcast is Now Think Fires. And for those of you following along at home, doing your own decodes, I am aware that QMAP is offline. I'm not sure when or if QMAP will return. So, for the time being, I would recommend finding Q posts on these websites: qanon.pub, qag.news, qposts.online, and qanon.news/Q. If you are looking for information about Q, you might want to check out my book, Calm Before the Storm. It's the first book in the Q Chronicles, and Volume 2 is getting close to being finished. A couple more chapters to edit. Volume 1 covers some of the subjects that Q talked about in the first few months of the operation. A lot of information about Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, the Iran deal, the Clinton Foundation. There is a chapter on the NSA and Admiral Rogers. There's a chapter on General Flynn. There is even a chapter on game theory, which Q discusses quite a bit. And there is a glossary in the back of the book that has over 500 terms, abbreviations, acronyms, names of people, names of agencies you may not be familiar with, and those are decoded to the best of my ability in the back of the book. Calm Before the Storm is available on both Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And now, let's jump into today's decode. As I said, theme for this broadcast is Now Think Fires. So yesterday, Q posted a map showing wildfires in the western United States. A lot of fires throughout Montana, Utah, Oregon, Washington, California, through Idaho. And 4 days ago, police arrested a man suspected of starting a string of fires near Novato, California. Just going to go through some headlines here. 3 days ago, a woman was arrested near Spokane for suspicion of starting several fires in that area, eastern Washington. A man was arrested 2 days ago near Puyallup, Washington, on suspicion of starting fires in the Tacoma area. On September 2nd, a man was arrested for suspicion of starting a 380-acre fire west of Eugene, Oregon. And on September 5th, a man was arrested near Salt Lake City, Utah, on suspicion of starting 2 fires there. So, despite the fact that many of the current fires have been started by arsonists, California Governor Gavin Newsom is blaming them on climate change.
A heat dome over the entire west coast of the United States when you have temperatures, record-breaking temperatures, record droughts, then you've got something else at play. And that's exactly what the scientists have been predicting for half a century. It is here now. California, folks, is America fast forward. What we're experiencing right here is coming to a community all across the United States of America unless we get our act together on climate change, unless we disabuse ourselves of all the BS that's being spewed by a very small group of people that have an ideological reason to advance the cause of a 19th century framework and solution. We're not going back to the 19th century.
So is New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. He said the sky is orange over California, 500,000 acres are burning. This is what climate change looks like. The proof is right in front of us. Hillary Clinton also thinks this is all about climate change. None of this is normal, and confronting climate change is on the ballot this year. Vote as early as you can for a habitable planet. And, of course, Barack Obama had to get into the action here. He tweeted this out: the fires across the West Coast are just the latest examples of the very real ways our changing climate is changing our communities. Protecting our planet is on the ballot. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does. I don't have anything against keeping the planet habitable. However, many of these fires are not due to climate change. They're due to humans who are going around lighting fires. And it's interesting to me that politicians are completely glazing over any mention of arson, and they're all pushing climate change. Democrat leaders are demanding that they be elected back into positions of power, and if they're not, they promise you that this is the future you're going to be condemned to. I said it before, I'll say it again. Democrats have given America an ultimatum. Vote for them to destroy America, or they'll destroy America. That is your proposition. The Portland FBI wants you to know that these fires are not being set by extremists. I guess the media would say they're mostly peaceful arsonists. This is a tweet from the FBI Portland that Anon posted. Reports that extremists are setting wildfires in Oregon are untrue. Help us stop the spread of misinformation by only sharing information from trusted official sources. Conspiracy theories and misinformation take valuable resources away. Local fire and police agencies working around the clock to bring these fires under control. Please help our entire community by only sharing validated information from official sources. So don't be spreading any conspiracy theories that all these fires are actually connected and possibly organized and coordinated by certain people. Q posted links to several news articles about the arson fires, some of which I just showed you. We'll just look at a couple more here. Eastern Washington woman was arrested for starting fires. And this one, Dexter, Oregon, a man was arrested for starting fires in a state park. And this one is a woman in California who was arrested near Highway 101 for starting fires. What do you think the odds are that people are just randomly, in a non-coordinated fashion, just going out all of a sudden, starting all these fires within a week's time? This is a tweet from Multnomah County Sheriff, which Q posted a link to. We're at a loss for words. Deputies at the Corbett Fire responded to a small brush fire in the 1700 block of Northeast Brower Road in Corbett at 3:52 p.m. Neighbors heard pops and saw 6-foot flames in the forest. Using a shovel and water, they were able to put it out. Deputies found fireworks in the area. A lot of the arsonists are using fireworks. So Q posted a link to that tweet and said, painfully obvious, Q. And we have this one from Q. This is a screenshot of a post from Facebook. And this woman said, some of you still think we're not being under attack. I found this individual walking in my property as I was driving in, and all he had were some matches in his hand. Walked him out of my property at gunpoint, and then when we got to some asphalt ground on the main road, I made him lay down when the cops arrived. Had my husband been there, he would have been dead. He's got multiple warrants, one of them being assaulting a police officer. So Q asked, not organized? And an Anon posted this, Q, I'm in Oregon City, Clackamas County, level 2 evacuation, terrified. Fires raging everywhere. I've been posting to you here for about 2 weeks about these fires. It is real. The rednecks around me are on alert. The others are completely brainwashed. There is no hope for them. Their eyeballs are no longer connected to their brains. Like 90% of people are hopelessly brainwashed by the media. Q responded with a post here, said, stay safe, be vigilant, Q. And this is a Clackamas County arrest record for Sammy Scott, who was picked up and charged with second-degree arson, probation violation. So an Anon had an answer to the FBI. He said, arson is extremism. Well, actually it is. And Q responded to that. We have this post, screenshot. Never in my life did I think I would witness a domestic terrorism attack, especially right behind my house. We heard fireworks, walked out and saw a giant flash, and then the whole house was engulfed in flames. A random car firebombed it on Jennings, and I pray the family got out. Trying to keep my wife and daughter calm while quickly loading what we could to escape was hard. Watching suspicious cars full of people slowly driving up and down the street while trying to load, hoping nothing is thrown at us, is terrifying. I hope no one has to go through this, and whoever's doing this, just stop. Do you really want to murder innocent families? Everyone keep your head on a swivel, watch your street, neighbors, and most importantly, protect your family and everyone you can. That was from Justin Weaver. And Q posted links, 2 links here. One is to a tweet from Washington State Patrol, PIO, Public Information Officer. The other is from Newsweek. So Trooper Ryan Burke, we got another one. Great job, Trooper Moorfield. A pedestrian decided to match light the grass at State Route 512 and State Route 7. A citizen observed and alerted 911. After a short foot chase, one is in custody and on his way to jail. And then we have this. For the first time in Oregon's history, A judge has ruled that a criminal suspect has to unlock their phone and allow police and prosecutors to access it. So Q posted a link to the website for the Signal app. Signal is a communications app, sort of like Telegram or WhatsApp, but it's highly encrypted. And because it's encrypted, it's a favorite communication app for people who don't want law enforcement snooping on them, like people who are committing crimes. When a judge forces you to unlock your phone, of course, the evidence of your crimes is no longer going to be a secret. So it's interesting that a judge said this person had to enter their password and unlock their phone. And Anon posted this about Signal. There's a tweet here from Jack Dorsey, and he was telling people download the Signal app, and has a link to their website. Then the Anon wrote, Signal since day one of Trump's election. Did they know? Signal became one of the top most downloaded social apps on iOS yesterday for the first time, according to data from App Annie. The app often sees spikes in downloads during tumultuous political times, but the last time Signal downloads ranked nearly as high was on the day of President Trump's inauguration. And if you remember, back in the time when President Trump first took office, there was a lot of civil unrest, rioting, protests, stuff like that. So, well, when people are planning those things, they need a secure device and secure app, and a lot of them use Signal. This is the second link that Q posted. It's to a Vox.com article. Downloads of the Signal app are increasing during times of civil unrest, particularly among protesters and people who are active in civil disobedience. So Q then posted this, coordinated, analyzed the downloads of the Signal app, pre-protest riots, start to 60 protest riots, coincidence, now think fires, Q. So Q is saying that if you analyze the number of downloads and compared that data to the timing of the protests and the fires, you'd probably see a correlation. And I don't have access to that data, so I'm going to go on to the next post. Q wrote this, Antifa.com redirect to Biden's donation page. Similar to Black Lives Matter, points to the DNC. So people have been asking me why Antifa.com has a redirect to Joe Biden's donation website. I don't know why that is. Whoever has the domain registered has it redirecting to Joe Biden's donation website. And that could be anybody. I don't know who that is. But it is interesting that there's a redirect. And we know that the donations that are made to Black Lives Matter are used to support DNC-backed political candidates. Speaking of which, there's a new article here, and this is one link to it. Q posted a different link to a similar article. Money that is donated to Black Lives Matter is handled by Act Blue, a large liberal political funding organization. Forensic analysis of their website and their what's public available records revealed that 4.7 million of the 9.7 million Act Blue donors are reported to be unemployed. That seems very strange, especially since if you look at comparable conservative organizations, you find about 5 or 6% of the people are unemployed. So that's a total of 48% of all donors in 2019 and 20 are unemployed, supposedly unemployed. And that raises some red flags because the author of that article suspected Act Blue was actually taking large donations and breaking them into smaller gifts of like $100 to avoid suspicion that they might be violating campaign laws and Federal Election Commission laws. So don't know exactly what's going on there yet. Q posted a link to a Fox article, Fox News article on the same story, and then posted this. This is a screenshot of a previous post from July, where there's a breakdown here of political candidates and how much money they received from Act Blue. Bernie Sanders, $186 million. Joe Biden, $119 million. Elizabeth Warren, $93 million. So Q wrote, deceivers with D in brackets. Welcome to the D Party Con, Q. All right. Q explains the strategies and tactics used by the press, Hollywood, politicians, and Antifa. We have a graphic over on the right This is the Pennsylvania change in registered voters since November of 2016. Democrats, change has been minus 91,000 voters. Republicans plus 75,000 voters, and independents plus 42,000 voters. So Republicans and independents have massively increased voter registration in Pennsylvania. Democrats have not. They've actually lost. So Q wrote this, MSDNC Con. The country is divided, and Dementia Joe, currently taking early stage dementia medication, is leading across the board. Sure he is. How do you amplify a desired theme or narrative? How about fake polls? Q writes, MSDNC controls what you see, digital echo. Twitter, Facebook, and Google control what you see and what trends, digital echo. Hollywood stars swarm to enforce the trend, echo. Blue check marks swarm to enforce the digital echo. Antifa swarm to enforce non-digital echo. Rage and emotion follow by those who are indoctrinated. The echo is controlled. Define indoctrinate. To often repeat an idea or belief to someone in order to persuade them to accept it. Next, grab rage and emotion, organized platforms by indoctrinated people, and project as the majority, zoom in and enhance, narrow focus as mainstream. So you take a small cross-section of the population, you magnify and zoom in on whatever they're saying and pretend that is the mainstream view, so you can get more people indoctrinated in believing that that's the mainstream. System of control. Many choose the path of least resistance. For many, you cannot tell them the truth, you must show them. Only at the precipice will people find the will, strength, to change and break the system of control. Be free. Q. Kevin Corke was given a wake-up call by a DOJ source about impending indictments. He tweeted this out yesterday. Remember when I said, wake me up when there were indictments or arrests? Well, a solid DOJ source told me, set my alarm clock. I said, I'll believe it when I see it. So that was posted by an Anon, and Q reposted that. And in honor of September 11th, yesterday, Q reposted an Anon's Twin Towers of Treason. And you have Jim Comey treason. Let's see, you've got 5 lines there. And then you've got, I think there's 11 total blocks of this in this tower. I don't know if the number is relevant. Then an Anon posted this. It's John Brennan treason, John Brennan treason, repeated 4 times, and I think there's 12 blocks in this one. So these represent twin towers of treason, I guess you would call. Somebody superimposed these on the twin towers. I do not know if the number of times that these names appear in their respective posts is supposed to predict a date. This is posted by an Anon. I don't know that this Anon has any foreknowledge of arrests or indictments or anything. So that's a natural thing to wonder about, but I don't know. Let's see. Next, we have this. For those who think that nothing is happening, this is a graphic that's showing a few of the people who have been fired by the FBI. So we've got FBI Director, Chief of Staff, Deputy Director, then we've got Special Counsel, we've got several other positions over here, John Glackalone, Michael Steinbach, Associate Director, Counterintelligence Division, I believe that's Bill Priestap, Randall Coleman, General Counsel, Deputy General Counsel, all these people fired, and others. So the Anon said, near zero results, got to be blind or a shill. Next we have this one. Netflix shows like Cuties seem to be part of an attempt to get society to accept pedophilia as normal in advance of the arrest of some well-known people who have committed those crimes. Q posted a screenshot of a previous post from July, has Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, and Harvey Weinstein with red X's through them. And Q wrote, attempts to normalize will fail. Who will be next? Q. And Anon responded, Netflix, social engineering must be suppressed, as should the media complex. And Q responded to that, you have more than you know. And this is a repost of a drop from June of 2018 when Netflix announced that Susan Rice would be joining the board of directors. Q wrote, trying to normalize. Who just joined board of Netflix? Who pushed? What is coming? So Q is kind of predicting that the normalization of pedophilia was coming. And like I said, probably because a lot of these people are going to be arrested. If you don't want to be condemned by society, it makes sense to try to get society to accept this as normal, but it's not going to happen. And Anon posted this, nothing can stop what is coming, and Q responded. Here's a screenshot of some patriots for God and country. Patriots fight, Q. And that gets us caught up to Q for today. Thank you for sharing this on social media. If you have been encouraged by this broadcast, you might want to subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, the link to my Patreon page is in the description box. The link to my book, Calm Before the Storm, is also in the description box. Please keep me and Denise in prayer. Keep the president in prayer. Keep Q and the team in prayer. Keep the military and the Secret Service in prayer. Love you all. Take care. I will catch you on the next broadcast.